Wasn't a problem. And
wait, he agreed to everything?
I mean, you know, he said the guy wrote the song. He didn't have a problem with it. He said
that's not what he says at all.
I had my bodyguards who had guns, and they had their people which had guns, and they had us outpowered and outnumbered.
Van Winkle describes a terrifying night in his suite at a Beverly Hills hotel when he says Suge Knight showed up with 6 other men.
Roughed one of my bodyguards up. They roughed everybody else and my whole entourage up. Suge took me out on the balcony, started talking to me personally.
On the balcony?
On the balcony.
High above?
Like 15 floors. He had me look over the edge, show me how high I was up there.
Were you scared?
I needed to wear a diaper on that day. I was very scared.
On the balcony, Van Winkle says Suge Knight told him to sign over points from the song to a man named Mario Lavelle Johnson.
Who is Mario Lavelle Johnson? His name is listed.
That's the guy that Suge Knight brought over there that was an acquaintance of mine that had nothing to do with that song.
You signed over the rights?
Signed over the rights to him, so that Suge and them could get paid for it.
So Mario Lavelle Johnson didn't like that song?
No way.
How much were those points worth?
About $4 million, $3 million, anywhere between there. $3 to $4 million.
And you just signed them?
Signed them. And walked away alive.
He says you had a number of men there with guns. You then took them out to the balcony. And you said you're going to sign over the rights. Did you do that?
No, I did not.
It never happened?
Never happened.
You didn't take them out to the balcony?
No, that's sad.
It sounds like what occurs in other police reports involving you. Again and again, there's a pattern of night where you do that.
That's not true.
But now someone has finally stood up to Suge Knight. Los Angeles Superior Court Judge John Orderman, who ordered Knight into court for violating his probation, and then raised troubling questions about why Knight hadn't been locked up before now.
And I'm looking at a long list of failures to follow court orders.
It turns out Knight had received probation in the first place instead of prison after glowing letters of recommendation from black civic leaders and record industry executives, and the all-important agreement of the Deputy District Attorney, Larry Longo, who had once insisted Knight should go to prison, but then did a surprising about-face. Longo denies any connection, but free of the threat of prison, Knight went on, through his lawyer, to pay Longo's family $19,000 a month to rent a Malibu beach house. And beyond that, Knight signed the prosecutor's 18-year-old daughter to a multi-year recording contract, making her the only white artist on the death row roster. The Suge Knight way of doing business.
In 1996, Suge Knight had his parole revoked for his part in the Las Vegas brawl, seen here on security camera video that preceded Tupac Shakur's murder. By 1998, he was serving a 9-year sentence in the California men's colony. Rob Van Winkle continued to sell out concerts overseas, and he had opened a sporting goods store in Miami Beach.